It's St. Patty's Day time, so we watched a sequel that has pretty much no connection to its precursor, other than the fact that this angry little green man still wants his motherfucking gold back, and we want the 90 minutes of our life back. We watched Leprechaun 2. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is. Aaron Go Ball, Moon Goons. Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. With me as always is my drinking buddy for St. Patty's Day, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
Not Aaron Go Bra. Aaron Go Barf. Still hungover from St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, we had a pretty good St. Patty's Day this year. That's why this episode is a little late, but St. Patty's Day got in the way. But it was a good time.
We took care of it, man. We treated St. Patrick's Day right.
Proper.
I think I actually carried you for a while. I gave you a piggyback ride.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes,
for a while.
Yeah, I was impressed by that. I'm not a small man. I was very impressed.
It's the strength of Irish whiskey.
But we hope you guys had a good St. Patty's Day, too, out there. Hope everybody did. But on to more pressing business. It's still March Madness. So
The serious stuff.
We're in the middle of March Madness here. It's been a crazy fucking tournament this year for you guys who actually follow it, the sports guys. It's been awesome. But for us, to bring it back home, we're in the middle, or we're getting close to rounding out round one of the Horrible Horror March Movie Madness Tournament of Awful.
Malign blah.
Yeah. Whatever. So yeah, we close out the Crystal Lake bracket this week, and we started in the Haddonfield bracket. So let's update you on the brackets for those of you following at home. We start off with Killer Donuts versus Microwave Massacre, and in a close matchup, went down to the buzzer. Microwave Massacre is moving on to the second round.
I was kind of surprised by that, but.
And then we had Hide and Go Shriek taking on the Suckling. This one, again, not as dominant as I thought it would be, but yeah, both had some votes.
Again, close.
Not still the top, the favorite one, and I think we all think
Suckling. I agree. Yeah, the higher ranked seed. Yes.
Yeah, but the
higher ranked suck.
The Hide and Go Shriek tried to have a little bit of a Cinderella game, but did not work.
No.
And finally closing on Crystal Lake, we had Santa Claus taking on 2000 Maniacs.
No surprise. This was a slaughter.
Yeah. This was Santa Claus easily beating out 2000 Maniacs to move on to our shitty 16. Next one, in first matchup of the Haddonfield bracket, we start things off with a crazy matchup. We had Creepazoids taking on Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies.
Now, this one was tough for me because I like both of these movies.
See, now...
in a weird way, they hold something in my heart.
But it's also tough for our voters, our listeners, because this one came in at a pure tie.
Yeah.
This one went to overtime, came in at a tie. So, in a tie, we break the tie.
We're going to break the tie.
We're going to break the tie right now. Now, I'll let Aaron say, because you said you liked both of these.
I did,
so
yes.
I have my pick thoroughly in mind, but since you actually liked both of them, we'll see where you go first.
Well, at the end of the day, which one would I rather watch? Or which one would I want to throw away? If I had both of them in my hand, which one would I say, I don't want to watch this?
Yes.
And that would be Creepazoids.
All right.
I would rather watch Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies because it's fucking Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. It's got Hacksaw, Piper,
Kurt Angle, Shane Douglas, Matt Hardy.
Right. I mean, this is great.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, so we don't have a split vote here. I do agree. I would much rather have watched Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. I think that was more fun.
Yeah.
So that was an easy tiebreaker. Creepazoids is moving on. Let me write that down in our bracket. Then round 2 of Haddonfield, we had Killjoy versus Zombie Decadence. This one, This one surprised me personally.
Yeah.
Surprised me, but Zombie Decadence was voted by the listeners being
as
the worst one.
As the worst between the two.
Yeah, so Zombie Decadence is moving on.
I don't agree with it, but
I
hey,
disagree
I
too,
didn't vote.
but
I'm not voting. It's not up to me.
That's what I love about this.
Yeah.
It's not up to
It's
us.
kind of interesting also to kind of get your finger on the pulse of what people think was worse than the other. And wow.
Yeah.
Surprise. Because Killjoy sucked.
Yeah, I thought it was awful. Then next matchup we have Evil Bong taking on Red Christmas. In this one, Evil Bong won.
Again, I'm surprised.
I'm not by this one. I mean, people know Evil Bong. It's a shitty movie. It's intense. You know what you're going to get. But I think enough people liked Red Christmas. It had a much higher production value, better kills, better... Even though it had a lot of flaws and we...
Butchered it.
We butchered it. But I'm not too surprised by this. I'm kind of... But at the same time, I could have seen people going the other way because people want to enjoy the silliness of Evil Bong. But... So yeah, Evil Bong's moving on. And then we had sorority girls in the Slime Ball Bolorama taking on Lake Fear 2. And this was an absolute massacre. This was like...
It was a sweep.
This was, this should have been like, close it down, 10-run rule, throw in the towel, match
just
up.
mercy rule.
Mercy
the
rule.
Slaughter rule comes into effect.
Yeah, exactly. Lake Fear 2 easily moves on.
Easily moving on.
Again, I'm very glad to see that. I'm not too surprised. The only thing I'm worried about is that not enough people maybe have seen Lake Fear 2.
Oh, but people know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But people know about Slime Ball. And so, that's kind of a cult classic. People know that one. I don't know many people if people know enough about Lake Fear 2 but either way, the vote's right. Lake Fear 2 moves on.
Yep.
And then the last matchup we had for this past week was Sorority Slaughterhouse taking on Pork Chop 2. And this one came down. Aaron tallied up the votes for this. I'm pretty sure. Did this come down to one vote?
One vote.
One vote. So I was shocked by this one personally, but I guess but I'm a little biased on this, so I guess I'm not. I shouldn't be, but I was. But in the end of the day, Sorority Slaughterhouse is moving on.
Was voted worse.
A lot of hate for Pork Chop too. I know some people's like, I'm voting for Pork Chop just because of the fact they made a second one. And I was like, oh, I like Pork Chop too.
You love the Pork Chop series.
Yeah,
you're a
I'm
Pork Chop guy.
But even you, I think we even said Pork Chop 2, or is it 3D that you liked? It was 3D.
3D was my favorite.
That's the one you liked, favorite. Yeah. Maybe I was thinking. Maybe I got confused with that one for 3D. Yeah, Pork Chop 2 was the weird one with the musical number and the. But it did have the crazy like Missy Dawn tiki torch.
Yeah, like on the weird backbend thing. Yeah.
That is, all right. So that's the last one. We have 3 more matchups left in the Haddonfield bracket before we move on to our round 2 Shitty 16. So keep an eye out for those. They'll be being posted probably Monday, and then we'll start round 2 probably midweek, Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what's going on. Just keep an eye out. All right, so that's that. Let's move on to the reason for the season, why we're here. Today's movie, Leprechaun 2.
Leprechaun 2.
Yeah, last year we did Leprechaun 1, so I figured it's only appropriate we did 2. Even though a part of me wanted to skip ahead to Leprechaun in Space, because that's just a piece of shit. That garbage is prime pickings. But anyway, Leprechaun 2 was released in theaters on April 8th of 1994.
So Leprechaun 1 came out on your birthday, January 8th, 1993. Wow. So this is just a little over a year. They are cashing in on that Leprechaun gold. Because if you remember, it was made for $900,000 and it made about $9 million. So that's a good return on investment.
That was.
So they're riding that train.
Yeah, I guess. That's what you did with horror movies at that time, franchise stuff. Look, Friday the 13th, they cranked out one every single year for 9-10 years straight. So anyway, this was written by Mark Jones, Turi Meyer, and Al Septine. Directed by Rodman Flender. He has 37 credits as a director. He's done episodes of the recent MTV show Scream, based on the movies.
Oh yeah.
He also did a stand-up Conan O'Brien Can't Stop stand-up documentary movie. He also directed the Seth Green and Jessica Alba movie Idle Hands, if you remember that one.
You know what? I've never seen that.
Really? It's kind of fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And he also directed episodes of Party of Five, Dawson's Creek, Arliss and Tales from the Crypt. So he's done a lot of other stuff, which is better. Really surprised me.
Yeah.
Like after, I guess he got better after this.
He had to
movie.
cut his teeth.
Yeah.
And now I have that Dawson Creek song stuck in my head. I don't want to
Paula
wait
Cole.
for our lives to be over. That's really bad.
You can find this movie if you really want to on Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, Vudu, and iTunes. The cast, we'll talk about a few people. Obviously, Leprechaun, Warwick Davis is back playing Leprechaun again in one of his basically
His
iconic,
moneymaker.
his moneymaker role, yeah. Our lead, Cody, is played by Charlie Heath. He's only got 13 credits to name, and I'm not even going to name anything else he's been because it doesn't fucking matter because he really did nothing after this.
Yeah.
Same with Bridget, played by Siobhan Durkin. She had 15 credits, but again, kind of went nowhere after this. Morty is played by Sandy Barron. He was an old school, old-timey actor. But again, nothing anybody I think is really going to know of. But he had a lot of work behind him.
But I love that guy.
Did you?
I loved Morty.
No, surprisingly, the people who have like the smallest parts in this
Like
movie
the cameos.
have actually much better
Way
careers
better
than anybody else in this movie. Because we have cameos by Michael McDonald, Tony Cox, Clint Howard, and Kimmy Robertson. Now, Michael McDonald, he is a comedic character actor. He's most well known for his time as a cast member on Mad TV. He was also in all the Austin Power movies, the movie Spies and the Ghostbusters remake. He's in the movies Blood Fist 437 and Revenge of the Nerds 3 and 4. And he still continues to go on and do work today. Next, Tony Cox might not be a name, but you fucking know this guy because he's the only famous black midget out there.
Right.
He's got 88 credits. Of course, probably most famous for Bad Santa with Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton's partner.
The elf, yeah. He's also in Spaceballs, Me, Myself, and Irene, Ghoulies 4, and like Warwick Davis, he was also an Ewok in Return of the Jedi and the TV movie The Ewok Adventure.
Oh, no shit.
Yep. And then Clint Howard, this guy, again, you recognize his face, very distinctive face.
Ron Howard's brother.
Yes, very distinct character actor. 244 credits, and he was in this movie for like 5 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Again, entire Austin Powers series. He was in the TV movie version of Humanoids from the Deep.
Oh, whoa, nice.
Apollo 13, Ice Cream Man, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker.
Whoa.
Also, Initiation, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, where he played Ricky.
Shit.
He was in the movie Backdraft, Tango and Cash, Night Shift, to 2007, Rob Zombie Halloween, and The Funhouse Massacre. And again, like I said, 200...
Just tons of shit.
Tons of shit.
Tons of shit.
And Kimmy Robertson is the last person. She plays Clint's wife or girlfriend in this movie. 60 credits to her name. My mom's aware of Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. She was like the mom in that. She also was voiced one of Ariel's sisters in The Little Mermaid. She was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead. 29 episodes of Twin Peaks, along where she played Lucy Moran.
Lucy in Twin Peaks.
And she was in all the Twin Peaks spin-offs. And she came back to play Lucy, who is now Lucy Brennan, in the new Twin Peaks series.
She got married to Andy.
Yep. And she's the voice of Dot in the old cartoon Tick cartoon.
Oh, really?
Yep. And she was in Speed 2 with Keanu, or Sandra Bullock. Keanu Reeves didn't do that one.
Yeah, he said, fuck that. I'm not getting on no boat.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Good for him. It's just crazy that these people who are in the movie for like 5 minutes or less went on to stellar careers over the people who are in this movie the entire time.
By far.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they were kids, though. Anyway, let's go.
Still. All right, we open in Ireland 1,000 years ago. Way back in the way long ago. Like the Middle Ages. A peasant man, he's like running through the forest at night, and he has this metal collar clasped around his neck. And he suddenly just falls to the ground, clutching at the magical shock collar. Coming out from behind a tree is our old friend Leprechaun.
Leppy.
The two of them exchange some words, and we learned that a while back this man tried to steal Leppy's gold, and that it also happens to be St. Patrick's Day, which is now also Leppy's birthday.
Sure.
Which wasn't the case in the first movie.
Yeah. And so he's Leprechaun's slave.
Yes. He's Leprechaun's bitch. Leprechaun turns 1,000 years old today.
Yeah. It's his 1,000th birthday.
Indeed, and he plans on taking a bride tonight.
Did he kind of specify only 1,000 every 1,000 years is when he has the opportunity to get some? That seemed to be the thing.
That's kind of what it made out to be. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the only time the Viagra works for my little leprechaun dick.
Yeah.
You know, it takes really 1,000 years to work.
1,000 years.
That's some pretty bad drugs he got there. Pal.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but that's.
Oh, that doesn't make sense? Let's keep going.
Oh, yeah, it's about to get all sorts of fucked up. All right, so he plans to take a bride. Leppy makes a deal with this man that if the man helps Leppy get his bride tonight, Leppy will then release him, give him his freedom.
And he's all for it. He's like, deal.
Done.
Shake
hands. Shake hands. And Leppy says, okay, all I have to do is make this girl sneeze 3 times, and then she's going to be my bride magically.
What?
Yeah, like, what?
What? Huh?
How does that even work? Like,
oh,
even
God.
if you sneeze 3 times, how is she suddenly your bride? Like, I don't, like, what? How does this happen?
So, he can only get married every 1,000 years, and under the circumstances, if a girl sneezes 3 times
in a row without anybody saying God bless you after any of the sneezes. What is This is so weird. It's so, like, just that's what I'm looking for. Just obscure, I guess.
Yeah.
What?
Like, I've never heard about this in Leprechaun lore.
Yeah, Leprechaun lore. Yeah, neither have I. But anyway, so this is the shit that he decided to go with for this movie. So yeah, enjoy the ride. This is what you got to look forward to. So Leppy takes the man to go spy on his chosen bride, and it turns out to be this pretty blonde girl. Just so happens to be, of course, the man's daughter.
Yeah, and she's like out in the forest at night doing laundry.
Yeah, it's like middle of the night, and she's doing laundry in the forest. Or like, what?
Yeah.
Or she's hanging it up to dry in the forest. Like, what?
We're not even 5 minutes in the movie. I think we've talked about it for 10.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long podcast.
It just makes zero sense. Like, why are you in the middle of the woods at night doing laundry? So, Leppy makes her sneeze.
Yeah, that's another thing. How the fuck does he? This is how he does it.
Yeah, he blows. He just like blows into the air, and it causes her to sneeze. She sneezes twice, but on the third sneeze, the man interrupts by softly saying "God bless you, my darling" or something like that, which breaks the spell. And he's like, I just fucked myself by saving my daughter. So he turns to try to run away.
He tries
again.
to book it. Leprechaun's pissed.
Leprechaun uses his leprechaun fairy magic to make the man levitate into the air. And Leprechaun, he curses the man's bloodline, saying that on his next 1,000-year birthday, he'll go after his daughter's kin. Whoever is left in his bloodline, I'm going after. Leppy then uses the Force to snap the man's neck.
He does. He straight up hangs out with Darth Vader.
Yeah,
and
Darth Vader.
Yeah, uses the Force and snaps his neck.
And the man's dead body falls to the ground, and then Leppy just magically disappears. You roll the title card. Next, we see Leppy in his quote-unquote home. He pulls out this scroll of paper, unrolls it, and on this scroll is every girl in the daughter's bloodline throughout the ages.
Yeah.
And we follow it from the Middle Ages all the way down to modern day. I will say, even though it's the odds of this daughter's family apparently only having daughters is insane and pretty much impossible. I will say I kind of like the idea of this in the visual because it does show you tracking the timeline.
It is kind of cool when they use hand drawn art, and it's pretty nicely done.
Yeah, and
it's pretty cool.
They accurately kind of depict each period of time,
era. The clothes are changing, the clothes
and the hair and all
that.
Right.
There's a flapper one from the 20s.
Yeah, and they show where the family tree came across over to America.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind. This was probably one of the better things about this movie was that it was kind of clever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we cut to modern day LA. 1993 in modern day. And we meet our main characters, Cody and Bridget. Cody works for his Uncle Morty by conning tourists into taking a bogus haunted Hollywood car tour. And Bridget is his girlfriend, and she's the heir to the daughter we saw. She's the bloodline.
It's the same actress.
It's
the exact same actress.
Exact same person.
So they're not trying to pull a swerve on it. It's
No.
this is the same person. This is the same bloodline.
Yeah. So anyway, Bridget just stands there laughing at Cody as he's laughing at the fact that Cody is conning these people into
Yeah, he's
a shitty tour.
He's honey dicking people into his hearse.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's the scariest tour. It's you. If you guys, and this is where we see Clint Howard, and Lucy from Twin Peaks. And, they're just like, I don't know. And it's so funny because they're decked out in they're so tourist, like off the charts tourist, which is pretty funny. But yeah, he's like, if you want to go see, if you want to do the touristy stuff, go to Disneyland. I'm the real deal.
Yeah. So Cody gets all the tourists loaded up into the hearse, and then he and Bridget head off to go get Uncle Morty, who actually gives the tours. However, Morty is a drunk, and they find him 3 sheets to the wind at the local hole-in-the-wall bar.
Now, this is St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, no.
No, it was St. Patrick's Day. Because they even said, St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
I thought St. Patrick's Day was the next day. Because I think it actually takes place, we have a night then the next day, don't we?
No.
Is it all one night?
It's all one night.
Okay, then it is St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Okay. It must just be early St. Patrick's Day at this point then.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll call it early St. Patrick's Day. So anyway, Marty's so drunk that he can't give the tour. So Cody has
he's shit-faced.
He's gone. Cody has to take his place, which fucks up his date plans with Bridget. Now at this point, I do have to make a quick comment on Morty's eyebrows because they're fucking insane. His eyebrows look like they stuck themselves in like a wall outlet because they're like sticking up. And out. They look like fucking. They belong like a terrier or something, like a dog or a werewolf.
I love Morty. I thought the actor was good. I thought he delivered his lines well. He's a total sleazebag.
He is a total sleaze.
He's just on the fringe of society, barely hanging on, absolutely drunk. And he kind of reminded me of George Carlin. Kind of had like his voice and his delivery.
Yeah, I could see where you get that from.
There's some George Carlin inspiration there for sure.
I can't get past his eyebrows. Like the eyebrows were stealing every scene from the guy. I couldn't. Every time he's on the TV, I'm looking at those fucking eyebrows. They're insane.
They were incredible.
I mean, he looks like he put like hair gel or wax in the spike. I'm like, why would you wear your eyebrows like that?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. But I think it helped this character, honestly. But obviously not for you because you couldn't take your eyes off it.
I couldn't get away from it.
I thought it was perfect because I was like, oh man, that fits in with this just crazy weird dude. His fucking eyebrows.
So Cody breaks the news to Bridget that he has to do it. And of course, she's not happy, but she rides along anyway with Cody as he gives the tour. Now, one of the stops on the tour is supposed to be the ruins of Houdini's house. And after the tour group moves on, from the ruins.
I did like one of the stops where they stopped at one house and it's supposed to be where Bela Lugosi died or lived.
Yeah.
And this old black lady gets out and like with hair curlers in her hair and throws a bucket of water on it. And she's like, wait, if Bela Lugosi lived that, who's that? It's like, oh, that's his niece. That's his great niece, Stella Lugosi, which I thought was fucking funny. Stella Lugosi.
Where was it? Oh, yeah. So this bum, after they move on from Houdini's ruins, this bum shows up. And we start following him as he lays down next to this large tree that has a sign on it that reads, "To our friend Harry Houdini from the people of Killarney, Ireland." So apparently people in Ireland are big fans of Harry Houdini.
And gift him trees?
And send him a tree from Ireland. That doesn't seem very practical. Like, what?
Yeah, was it sent over as a sapling?
Yeah.
Was it sent over as a proper tree? Because it's a big fucking tree.
It's a giant tree, and the sign, and maybe they just sent a plaque that said, you know what, hey, here's a plaque, put it on a tree or something. Like,
we sure you like you.
Yeah, like it's such a weird thing. Like, Killarney, Ireland?
They're basically looking for any excuse to get Leprechaun into L.A.
Yeah.
Why even go through that? Yeah.
Why? If he's supposed to be magical, why not just say, hey, he can just show up anywhere he wants? Like, why would the people of Ireland send a tree over to Houdini that's planted there all these long years to grow up, grow into a big tree just to be his...
Just to spawn Leprechaun.
Yeah, it's so fucking nonsensical, and it's fucking dumb. So the bum falls asleep on the ground, but he wakes up just in time to try to stop a magical force from pulling his bottle of whiskey into a hole in the tree. He tries to pull the whiskey back, but it's sucked into the tree. This causes the tree to open up like a fucking cocoon, complete with smoke and bright lights, and out comes Leppy.
Great entrance.
Great, yeah.
Yeah.
Who gives the bum for some shit for drinking Canadian whiskey.
He comes out and he starts chugging the whiskey. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, I like Leprechaun's style here. But he goes, "Oh, Canadian!"
Yeah.
And he throws on the ground, and he goes, "Everyone knows it's just Irish whiskey," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
So Leppy then notices that the bum has a gold tooth, so he uses his magic force powers to cause the tree and plant roots to erupt from the ground, like pin the bum down, while Leppy rips the gold tooth out of the bum's mouth.
Fucking savage.
The bum runs away as Leppy's pot of gold magically appears floating in midair.
Yeah.
Leppy adds the gold tooth to his pot, and that's it. We cut to the next scene, which is...
So, I'm really confused as to Leppy's powers. Like,
Yeah,
he seems to be able to do anything.
pretty much.
He's basically God. He has godlike powers.
Yeah, he really does in this movie.
Like, it's off the charts, his power ability.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
he didn't have like hardly any of these powers at all in the first movie.
He could,
this-
close a door with his mind, but that was about it.
Did he do
like,
that?
He did that, and...
I mean, he wasn't. I don't remember him using like the force,
Right, and he
or
could, like,
make things
teleport.
levitate, and all
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Like nothing. This movie, this sequel, basically just took the entire first movie and said, "Fuck it, we're not following anything from that one."
Nothing.
Like nothing.
None.
The only thing that makes any connection to the first movie is there's a split second in the very opening when he's dealing with the peasant man, where he like takes out a rag and like quickly brushes the man and says, "Your shoes are filthy," which was a thing in the first movie.
That was the big thing in the first movie.
But nothing after that.
No mention of the shoes, no mention of a four-leaf clover.
No.
mention of him being in fucking North Dakota.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah, nothing. They make no reference of any of it.
Because the four-leaf clover, it hurts him, it kills him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's
And-
how they
yeah.
kept him locked up or something like that.
Nothing.
So, and then he died in the first one with the four-leaf clover and the fire
Yeah.
well or something. And now they don't even explain, show how he's back. He's just back.
You just fuck it.
Yeah, it's just so. Anyway, so we jump to the Grand Prix go-kart raceway, where Cody drives up in the hearse, still loaded with tourists, and an angry Bridget gets out. Cody chases after. We meet Ian, who works at the track and who was classmates with Bridget and Cody, and he's really into Bridget. Bridget gives Cody some shit for ruining their date. And then goes off with Ian.
Yeah, now this was a line. Well, he's been dating Bridget, and he's like, "Look, I'm really sorry. Look, it won't happen again. It won't happen next time."
Yeah.
And she goes, "What do you think?" He goes,
There's going to be a next
She
time.
goes, "Do you think there's? I don't think there's going to be a next time or something to that effect." And part of me would be like, "Fuck you, bitch! I'm out."
I will say, I understand Bridget being upset by them having to cancel the date, but not that upset. I mean, because it's not like he's canceling his date to blow her off to go do something. He's working, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shitty situation.
Yeah.
Morty was shit-faced,
So it's kind of shitty for her to be that upset for him. To basically, he's covering for his uncle for the family business to try to keep afloat.
Right.
So you can't really get too mad at the guy for that. You should be a little understanding.
That's why I'm just like, fuck you.
So, yeah, she goes off with Ian. Cody goes back into hearse, continues on with the tour. Driving angry, he now runs a red light and gets arrested and taken to the police station. Here, Cody gets bailed out by Morty. We learn that Cody's parents died 3 years ago and that Morty is his legal guardian, but really has nothing to do with the movie. He never comes back.
Yeah.
So
It's basically his only family.
Yeah. During this, the bum we saw earlier gets hauled in, raving about being attacked by a leprechaun, but everybody ignores it. Basically, just thrown into the drunk
It's
tank.
St. Patrick's Day. He's like, it was a little 3-foot man with green top hat, and he had
was a leprechaun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like, let me guess, he had buckles on his shoes. He's like, yeah, you seen him?
Meanwhile, Leppy is on the street using magic and his shillelagh as a compass to lead him to his bride.
Yeah,
supposedly?
again, just powers for sure. Whatever shits and gigs, whatever powers he wants, he has. So yeah, he's basically using it as a magical GPS. If
Yeah,
you will.
basically. But again, I didn't think about this, but if he had the power after 1,000 years to pop up in L.A., which just happens to be where Bridget is, if he already knows she's in LA, why would he need I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. He should have popped up. He could have popped up fucking back in North Dakota, and then use the compass to still point to LA. I'm like, okay, I guess I go that way.
The
But
fact that we're trying to make sense.
yeah,
of this,
nothing makes
it's hurting my
sense.
brain.
So, Jesus. A talent agent happens to pass Leppy on the street, and he's like, "Hey, little man, you got some talent there. Give me." And he gives Leprechaun his card.
Give me a call sometime.
Which, by the way, I don't know what talent agent in Hollywood would pass this monster of a thing on the street and say, "Hey,
I like your style.
I want to represent you."
you and me can go places. What the fuck?
Yeah. So Leppy sees the gold ring on the man's hand. So Leppy just reaches out and easily as ripping paper, just rips the man's finger off.
Right off.
And takes the ring.
He's like, ah! He falls down.
And the man just stands like, okay, first of all, no way you can rip a person's finger off that easily. And two, as soon as you feel somebody grabbing your ring or trying to rip your finger, you pull your hand back. He just lets it happen.
He just pulls it off. The bucket of gold appears again.
Yeah.
And he just drops this bloody finger.
Into,
Oh,
there's the pun.
Yeah, then, of course, the pun, which I kind of loved. He drops the ring in there. He chews on the finger for a minute and goes, finger looking good.
Yeah.
Like, they just had this pun. They had this, like, oh, that'd be funny. It's like, nah, not really. But they had to, like, I was like, we got to slip it in there.
How do we make this work?
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, when they show the image of the man's hand with the ring on it.
It's really bad.
You
clearly see it.
The fake ass finger. Like you can tell, like where you can see like the seams, like exactly where it's going.
Right.
It's so bad. So we cut to Cody looking at pictures of Bridget in his room. He turns on TV and he starts having visions, making out with Ian on the TV. Like they replace the people on TV.
Yeah, he's listening to like poor man's Cure music. You know, it's like fake Cure. You know,
he's watching like old black and white movies and. Morty then tries to cheer up Cody by playing 3-card Monty. Like this is gonna cheer up. Like, hey, you got enough. I got it here. Hey, let's play some 3-card Monty.
Oh yeah,
watch the lady. Here we go. Where's she at? Where's she at?
Like this is supposed to cheer a teenager up.
Yeah. But Cody rightfully was like,
Cody's like rightfully was like, fuck this.
I'm out. I'm going after Bridget.
You're an idiot.
We jump to Ian dropping Bridget off at her house. Ian gets really pissed off with Bridget when she won't put out.
Yeah, he's getting dropped off and he's trying to put the moves on her.
And he gets mad at her for not putting out, even though he splurged on those sweet, expensive corn dogs.
What about the corn dogs?
The corn dogs and the racing, babe.
I know. He goes, that's... The way this is delivered, I couldn't think about what was happening first. It took me a second because he's like, hey, why don't you invite me inside? She's like, my parents aren't home. He goes, I know. Then why don't you bring me inside? And she goes, no, I don't think it's going to happen. He goes, oh, come on. And he goes, what about the corn dogs? And I'm thinking to myself, does he have to shit? Is he like holding this up? Like, oh, what about the corn dogs? Oh, I gotta poop.
That would have been funny. That's a good way to get yourself into the girl's house.
There you go.
Set that up, fake the diarrhea.
Just,
and then like when you're like, all right, I'm done. Then like, what's up, baby? I'm already in the house.
No. That's the worst way.
No, I know. That's so awful. Gotcha, bitch. I'm in the house now.
I just got done shitting. Who's ready for sex? I don't know what kind of girls you get. But
no. That's the worst. Anyway, Bridget punches him weakly at that in the stomach, and she storms inside. Ian starts to leave, but basically immediately, like, I don't think Bridget is even in the door yet by the time he turns around and he hears her voice calling to him. He spins around to see her staying in the garage, even though she just went in the front door.
Yeah, so she would have to go in the house, around, down, and
open the garage door. Bridget apologizes for her actions and lures him in closer. She wants to make it up to him and beckons him. He starts getting a little seductive and beckons him even closer.
Dude, does she talk funny? She's got like this.
Well, the voice goes deep sometimes.
Yeah,
like she's got like
she's trying to be seductive.
I can't tell if it's an accent that she has that she's trying to get rid of.
Yeah,
but there's
actors
all throughout the movie. There's times where she's like,
"Oh God,"
you know, like her voice goes really like bizarrely deep.
Yeah, it's her whole.
She's a bad
thing
actress,
in this movie is weird. So, Ian goes over to her, and we see Leppy hiding behind a workbench. Bridget takes off her shirt and bra, and we see some pretty nice stunt tits.
Yes, that's perfect. They are totally stunt tits because she's like, I believe in this, she's supposed to be like 15, 16 years old because Cody has a learner's permit and she's dating Cody.
I don't think they're that young. I think it's just one of those things like maybe weirdly thing like, you know,
Well,
a lot of people in New York don't drive. So maybe he's older and just now getting his
I
license.
guess maybe, but she looks fucking young.
I'd say she's 18, 17, 18.
Ooh, I don't know, man. She looks pretty young because those are definite stunt tits.
Yeah, I just think it's because the actress didn't want to show her own, but I don't think it's because she was underage. I think she was at least of age. I never thought she was like 15 in this movie at all.
Well, we'll do some digging, but yeah, I mean, she was definitely. Those were definitely stunt tits.
Well, you could look her up on IMDb and find her birthday. So anyway, yeah, we get to stunt tits. Ian, of course, is now just struck in a deep. He's stuck in a deep booby trance.
He is locked in.
Bridget whispers seductively for Ian to kiss her. And the camera...
But dude, he's not going for, like, when he comes into the frame of the camera, the tits, he just goes straight for the tits.
Yeah.
He doesn't go to, like, kiss her. He's just like, oh, tits. His eyes are, like, 2 centimeters away from these titties.
Yeah, the camera cuts away, and we see that Bridget has now been replaced by what I can only describe as what looks like a giant riding lawnmower that has been tipped over to stand up on edge vertically, and where Bridget's tits were are now 2 giant spinning insane looking lawnmower blades of death. Ian slowly continues to inch his face closer to the spinning booby trap of death. Booby trap.
Like, I wish you guys could have seen this, because Marsha goes, booby trap of death, and that gives me the double point, like, I got that one, huh? How about that pun?
So the camera pans over, and we see the shadow of Ian's head and the lawnmower shadows cast on the wall.
He's going to motorboat those blades.
Yeah, and we watch as Ian sticks his face into the blades. Blood sprays the garage walls. Mimicking Bridget's voice, Leppy comes out from his hiding spot saying, "Was it as good for you as it was for me?" And then he skips away laughing and reciting some rhyme about the 3 sneezes, and then he just kind of disappears.
So, I found it.
Yeah.
Siobhan Duncan.
Yes.
Durkin. Born in 1969.
Yeah.
So she's like 24, 25 in this movie.
Yeah. See, I told you she was
That's crazy. She looks fucking like a child. Amazing.
I didn't think she looked that young. I thought she looked a little weird, but I didn't think she looked young.
Definitely didn't look fucking 24.
No, I will say she didn't look that. So we cut to Bridget with her head in the fridge, a fridge that is filled with nothing but beer and good old RC Cola.
I know, it's like a good, like, I saw that, I was like, ooh, RC Cola, RC Cola.
And again, that just shows how bad this movie is, that they couldn't get Coke or Pepsi for product placements. They had to settle for RC Cola. And then I was like, you know what, come to think of it, it wasn't very long after this movie that RC Cola pretty much went kaput.
I think RC's still around, isn't it?
It might be, but I'm saying it dropped.
They were still clinging to the Cola Wars.
I wonder if this movie had something to do with like RC's death. Like RC.
Oh. This was the nail in the coffin.
Nail that just put RC down.
It's like RC is sponsored by Leprechaun 2. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Going Coke.
So anyway, the doorbell rings. She answers it, and there's Cody with flowers. They make up. Now, in this scene, she looks crazy to me. Like, literally, she has crazy eyes. Like, I have a hard time in this movie trying to figure out if she's pretty or just kind of odd looking to me. Like, there's something going on in her eye area that just makes her look weird to me. Like, I can't tell how I feel about her.
Something in her eye area that's just putting weird. Marshall off.
Yeah. It's just, I can never figure it out. Leppy raises up from behind a couch and makes Bridget sneeze. She sneezes a second time, but instead of saying "God bless you," Cody says "Gesundheit." And she sneezes a third time. This time, Cody starts to say "God bless you," but Leppy uses his magic to cause the phone to fly off the wall, and the phone cord wraps around Cody's mouth, gagging him, keeping him from finishing saying "God bless you."
Holy shit! Yeah,
yeah.
So I guess the German translation does not qualify in this
instance. Yeah, exactly. Because that's basically just God bless you in German. Which, yeah, I thought that loophole too. Like,
nope, it's got to be English.
Yeah, Leppy never said it had to be English. It just said God bless you. So technically any language would have worked as long as you're saying God bless you.
Right.
So, anyway, another bad loophole in the movie.
The phone cord comes out, wraps around. He's like, "Oh fuck!" I gotta give Cody credit because he immediately, without like missing a beat, he's just like, "Oh," he's like, "I'm fucked," but he looks down, grabs a knife right away, and cuts it off.
Yeah,
I like that.
But Lubby pops out from behind the counters. Bridget screams and cowers behind Cody while he's being strangled by the cord until he cuts it off, like Aaron said. Cody moves in on Leppy like he's going to attack him, but again uses the force to cause all the hanging pots and pans to fall on Cody, knocking him out cold. Bridget runs away, screaming for help. She reaches the front door, and when she flings it open, she's nearly hit in the face by the dead, strung-up, bloody body of Ian.
Just swinging back and forth.
Who's has a bloody red mess. Bridget closes the door. Leppy makes his pot of gold appear now.
Again, sure.
While saying,
man, how convenient is that, man? My wallet is thick. I hate sitting on it. It kind of fucks up my back. It's a pain in the ass to carry around my wallet, okay? But if I could have this magic ability just to bring up my wallet, be like, oh, I got that. Got it. Zing. Run my card, please. Yeah. Why can't I have that?
You know, one thing that might help you is just stop putting it in your back pocket. Put it in one of your front pockets. That's what I do. And you never have to sit on it again. It's so much better.
Shut up. Damn you and your logic.
So, where were we? Yeah. So he pulls out he says no weddings can be without a proper wedding ring. And he digs around in his pot and he pulls out a giant golden collar. And he says, with this ring, I'd be wet, throws the collar at Bridget.
Like a fucking frisbee.
Yeah, throws it at her, and the collar just magically clasps around her neck and locks, just like the man had, like the locked collar and the slave collar.
Like her great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Whatever, yeah. Then Leppy uses his magic to drag Bridget over to him. He's about to kiss her, but she kicks over the pot of gold. This gives her the chance to get away while Leppy scrambles together.
Leppy ain't having that shit. He freaks the fuck out. He's like, ah! You know, he just goes running, scrambling to get over.
Oh, yeah. So he gathers up all his gold. One gold coin just so happens to roll perfectly through the living room, round a corner, and into the kitchen, where it rolls even more perfectly, if that's possible, in between Cody's middle and ring finger.
Like right into his hand.
Like it was like putting a quarter in a slot machine or an arcade.
This is where it's supposed to go. You know?
Yeah. Feeling the coin, this little coin hit his webbing between his fingers is enough to wake Cody up out of being knocked unconscious.
Sure.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, what's that?
Bridget helps him up, and they try to make a run for it, but as they round the corner, Leppy hits Cody in the foot with a mallet.
Yeah, no shit.
Which now causes Cody to fall over again.
Pretty brutal.
Leppy grabs Bridget. Cody throws an iron fire poker at Leppy. He catches it in his hand, in his free hand, and coming in contact with the iron causes Leppy's hand to burn. He drops the poker, and with some weird gesture, he and Bridget just vanish, disappear into thin air.
What?
Yeah.
So he touched the iron poker and started to burn. Do you remember any of that? Heard any of this?
No, again, nothing in the first one about that.
Okay, just double checking.
At all. Now, there was some other movie, I forget what it was, but I don't think it was a Leprechaun movie, but there was some other movie where iron was like a thing, like, oh, if they touch iron, it hurts them.
You know,
but
I kind of remember that kind of
supernatural thing, but I don't know.
That is vaguely familiar.
Yeah, I can't remember what fucking movie it was. I just know it was featuring some other movie. Anyway, so Leppy and Bridget reappear in Leppy's lair, which is like inside. He's like a Keebler elf. He lives in this tree, underground in the tree. The tree, we said this before on the show, but this tree is like a goddamn TARDIS. His lair is fucking massive.
Huge.
I mean, this thing puts Bilbo's, Frodo's, and Peter Pan's Lost Boys homes to shame. It's just massive. Bridget's all freaked out, as she should be, and grossed out by Leppy, who is constantly insinuating that he's gonna fuck her.
Yeah.
Like, we are gonna have sex tonight.
Get ready
for my tiny leprechaun dick, because it's happening.
Yeah.
But he is a gentleman here. He does offer. He's like, you know what? I know you're kind of freaked out. Here's some whiskey to calm your nerves.
That's the gentleman thing to do. Look, before I rape you, get drunk.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to be drunk for this.
Yeah. I mean, at least he didn't pull a Cosby and roofier. He just offered her, here's some whiskey, calm you down.
Yeah, he just straight to it.
Yeah. He's honest in his rapey intentions.
Yeah.
With his back turned to her, Bridget picks up a rock, hits Leppy over the head with it, and then turns to take off running down one of the tunnels. And she runs into a skeleton that's all tangled up in like plant roots hanging on the wall. Leppy just pops up next to her, saying, "Oh, what a happy family reunion!" So we assume that the skeleton remains of the peasant
from the beginning,
the father from the beginning. Yeah. And as punishment for hitting him and trying to run away, Leppy magically wraps Bridget in a blanket that's basically like a burlap sack.
Yeah.
And lays her down on a stone slab, quote unquote, bed, which looks more like a shitty altar than a bed. And he keeps talking about them having sex and her giving birth to a litter of babies.
Not just a baby.
A litter.
A litter. So leprechauns like come out in litters. So gross.
Yeah, very gross. He does say he will have to make some physical changes to her body and face, of course, because the leprechauns, the babies won't suck. They won't attach.
They won't suckle the
They
teats.
won't nurse if she doesn't look like.
She's too pretty. Yeah. She's not ugly enough. She's not leprechaun-esque, if you will.
So he pours out his pot of gold on top of Bridget and starts rubbing the gold around on her.
Yeah.
Like, this is getting weird. This is like sexually, like, he's like, this is like what turns him on.
This is what gets his motor going.
Like, it's really kind of creepy. Like, I'm just going to rub my gold all over you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But while he's feeling the gold, he's starting to feel around. He's looking. He's like, me gold! Apparently, gold is missing, and he can figure it out because he's got the touch. Apparently, he must fuck with this gold a lot.
Yeah, he does. He quickly throws all the gold back in the pot. He starts to leave. Bridget stops him, begging him not to leave her here like this. And then she pulls a 180 and tricks him into letting her up by saying that she wants to make herself pretty for him for their wedding. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go along with this. I'm gonna play along. Blah blah. So Leppy then pulls out a red dress from under the blanket. Like, it's like the magician doing like the endless colored cloth gag. He just pulls this thing out from nowhere. He then licks her face, leaving like this trail of slimy goo-like drool running down her face and across her eyes. I will say that was kind of gross.
Yeah.
He leaves to go find his gold. Bridget immediately takes off running down a tunnel, and she ends up right back in her house. She ends up back in her house.
I was like, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Done.
So she ends up in her house, which is now being searched by cops and detectives. The detectives mention that they have a suspect in the murder because they found the flowers and the note that Cody gave to Bridget. Leppy uses his magic to have the note card from Cody fly out of one of the detectives' hands and into his own.
And it's just a piece of paper that says Cody.
Yeah,
that's all it. That's all it is. I love it. We got a clue. Just Cody.
But also, I have a problem with the fact that the detective doesn't even flinch or say anything about this.
Yeah,
it's not like a gust of wind blows. Like, oh, let me go. This thing gets ripped out of her hand,
and she's like,
and it flies away up into a tree, and there's like,
where there's an evil midget.
Yeah,
and
she's like, whatever, happens all the time in L.A.
These damn Santa Ana winds.
Things just always flying on my hands. So Bridget now opens the front door and exits her house, but finds herself back in Leppy's lair. So what does she do next? Now, it's really not a bad idea. It's pretty smart, actually, but it's how she does it that I have an issue with. She starts gathering up all these rounded, smooth stones or rocks, and she carries them in the blanket that she was wrapped in. And she uses the rocks like breadcrumbs to mark her path. Which, again, smart idea.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, but the problem I have with this is, one, she only has a limited number of rocks.
She's got about 30 rocks.
If that. And she places them like 2 inches apart.
Dude,
Are you kidding me?
She takes like half a step, drops one. Half a step, drops one.
Like, you're gonna run out of rocks before
bitch,
you make it 20 feet.
There's like 3 feet. You can see where the first one is.
Yeah.
God damn. I know it was, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, like, God.
What is your problem? This is a great idea, but you're fucking it up.
The director should be kicked in the dick for that. Yes.
Exactly. That's a directing area right there. That's just stupid. Like, we would have gotten, we could see her pick up the stones in the blanket, pull it out, drop it, and move on.
Take
and
about 10 steps.
And we get the idea. You don't even have to show her dropping them. Just drop one and go down the tunnel.
Yeah.
We get the idea of what she's doing. Anyway, it doesn't matter because the rocks vanish as soon as she drops them on the ground anyway. They just magically disappear.
Yeah, so there goes that idea.
Meanwhile, Cody arrives back at his uncle's place to find Morty being interrogated by the cops. Morty spots Cody and that kind of like warns him, shoos him away without the cops seeing him. So Cody sneaks into the apartment by using the fire escape. Morty fills in Cody on what happened and why the cops are after him, blah, blah, blah. Cody tells him that the leprechaun, tells him about the leprechaun, shows him the gold coin. Cody then tries to convince Morty about Leppy by reading from a book which conveniently perfectly describes Leppy and his whole backstory.
His whole backstory, his powers, his weaknesses, the fact that he gets laid at once every 1,000 years.
Like, it's everything perfectly.
What a convenient book to have at your disposal.
Yeah, totally.
But even with all this information, Morty's like, this is bullshit. You're fucking on drugs. What's wrong with you, kid? There's no such thing as... I'm a peddler of bullshit. This is bullshit.
Yeah, he's like, leprechauns do not exist. And on that cue, Leppy just leaps out from fucking nowhere and lands on the table Morty and Cody are sitting at. Leppy just then backhand pimp slaps Morty.
Fuck yeah, he does.
Knocking him out of his chair and onto the floor. He then turns to Cody saying, I want me gold! And he starts chasing Cody around the house. Cody offers to give Leppy the coin in exchange for Bridget. And Leppy's like, hey, that's a fair trade. I accept the deal. But of course, he has his fingers crossed behind his back.
Fingers crossed. How old is he? Over 1,000 years old. Real mature
he's
leprechaun.
He's at least 2,000. At least.
Yeah.
Because in the opening, it was his first 1,000.
You're
birthday.
right. He's 2,000 years old
at
today.
At least 2,000. Yeah. So Leppy is about to give him the coin when Morty knocks a bookcase over on top of Leppy and warns Cody that you can't trust the leprechaun.
Yeah, Morty's. Well, they read it in the book earlier that they're tricksters, they're shysters.
Right, but I'm just saying, from a man who didn't believe they even existed seconds ago to suddenly being a leprechaun expert.
Well, he did get pimp slapped by one. That was. If there's anything to convince you of
that
things
slapped
like
some sense into
yeah.
him.
I mean, considering the fact that he showed up and bitch slapped him, maybe he's like, huh, I deserve that.
Good on you, leprechaun.
Yeah.
Right, I deserve that 100%. We're good.
You do exist.
My bad. The two of them leave via the fire escape. Leppy tries to catch them, but the bars that come down on the window are made of iron and burn his hands.
How convenient.
So, where do they escape to and hide from a murdering leprechaun? Why, the shitty neighborhood bar. Where else?
They go back to the bar.
The bar is packed now because it's St. Patty's Day night. Morty's spots some cops in the bar, so he takes Cody into the bathroom. They talk about what to do next. Morty leaves Cody to go get a drink. He's like, fuck you, kid. I'm going to go get a drink while we're here.
Yeah, you got to settle your
I
nerves.
got nothing, nothing to worry about. There's no sense of urgency here. I'm going to go drink at the bar. Cody decides to take a piss at the urinal, and then we see two tiny feet in buckled shoes enter the bathroom. Cody spins around, and there's the black midget, sort of dressed like a leprechaun, standing in front of him, handing out chocolate candy that looks like gold coin.
And he looks fucking crazy.
His eye, he's like, God, what does he say? He's like, chocolate or something like that? In his eyes, he's got this giant,
his
smile.
Eyes are as big as they can possibly be
and
open.
He's got this crazy
and his
smile.
And he's chocolate? I mean, it looks like his head's about to explode.
Or like something very large is being shoved up his very tiny ass.
Yeah.
It does not look pleasant. He looks insane.
He looks bonkers.
He looks scarier than the leprechaun at this point. Like, I'm like, oh fuck, this guy's gonna kill me.
Is he gonna stab him in the?
Yeah, what, are you gonna shake me in the penis? Right. What's gonna happen? And first of all, who goes into the bathroom to offer chocolate to random people that are peeing at a urinal? That alone is insane and crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just creepy behavior.
And he's wearing this button. It's like "Kiss Me, I'm Irish," but he's wearing another one.
Yeah, he's got two.
I forget but it's a Ramones song. I forget the name of the Surf Bombers or something like that. But it's really obscure. It's so strange. But so Cody takes some chocolate and he's like, all right, happy St. Patty's Day. And then he still looks this insane look and just turns, smiling to no one.
He does this is like a turn you'd see like Michael Myers or this big ass smile and just like, the slow 90-degree
slowly
turn,
turns away,
and then walks and tries to use the urinal.
Walks bobbing his head back and forth. What?
That is the scariest scene in this whole movie.
That scene is so crazy.
That's the stuff of nightmares. This scene.
But Cody leaves, but I do like that the midget's looking at the urinal going, like trying to figure out how to piss.
The lip of the urinal is like right at his nose. And he's gonna try to figure out how to pee in this thing. I'm sorry, if I was a midget, I would go nowhere near a urinal. I mean, that's like just piss right in your face. Like you're sniffing your piss.
That's gotta suck so bad. I didn't even think about that for little people, but that's gotta suck so bad using public toilets.
Especially a bar one, because you got drunk people just pissing everywhere.
Right, I mean, if you're in public, I didn't even think about this. Do you have to carry a stepladder with you everywhere you go? How do you piss in public places?
I guess you have to try to hop up on a toilet.
I guess so. Yeah.
I don't think even like the urinals for kids would be too small for some, like especially for a kid. Like,
yeah.
Not all. Some midgets are tall. We see some in a few minutes in the middle here. But like you talk about, like,
he's a very short.
You talk about like a Vern Troyer,
right?
Like how the fuck? What do they do? Like you don't know if they could climb up on a toilet and use it.
And if you fell in, you might be fucked.
Yeah. And can you imagine trying to climb up on a toilet? Like, again, having to touch it and, like, prop yourself up on a toilet.
And then washing your hands after. You gotta climb. Like, what? That's...
You'd have to have, like, a personal assistant, like, carry you around to lift you up into a sink to wash your hands.
I never thought about that.
Man,
I never thought about that until now.
The plight of little people.
Man.
Damn.
Sorry, guys.
Respect you guys, man. Respect.
You guys have to go through a lot of shit.
Anyway, so that was Tony Cox, a creepy little midget. Cody leaves the bathroom, bumps into another midget dressed up. This time it's actually Warwick Davis, just without the makeup on, just being another. So, and he says, "Watch it, nosebleed." Like, is that a midget insult to tall people? Nosebleed? So. Like we're so tall, their nose just randomly.
The atmosphere up here is so thin.
That's such a weird insult.
I kind of like it,
but it's weird. I like it too. But it's like that's so odd. It's weird
because Cody is not that tall.
He's really not. So. Now we see a whole pack of midgets enter the bar. I wonder what a group of midgets would be. It's like a pack, a pride, a herd,
a pride,
a gaggle. I don't know.
Ooh, it could be like crows. A murder.
A murder.
A murder of midgets.
I like the onomatopoeia there. So anyway, this whole pack of midgets walks into the bar. That sounds like a setup to a joke.
Jesus Christ.
So, did you hear the one about the pack of midgets? They walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Why so short, guys?" I don't know. What the fuck?
They put 20 on the bar. You're a little short.
You're a little short. Oh, hey.
We're assholes.
We're so assholes. After we just said, much respect.
I know. We respect you guys.
But we're going to make fun of you some more.
God.
Oh, we're so bad. Oh, okay. Don't hate us. I'm sorry.
Fuck.
So, anyway, Cody finds Morty at the bar drinking, and he reminds him about the bum they saw at the police station, the one ranting about the Leprechaun. And Cody figures out that Leppy's lair must be at the tree at Houdini's ruins.
Of course.
Because, of course, that's the most logical connection to make. Because the bum couldn't have been anywhere else in the city at all. Morty points out that Leppy has found them at the bar, and he points over to Leprechaun. And Leppy is just chilling at the end of the bar, watching them all casually, just kind of like, "What's up, motherfuckers?"
I kind of like this scene.
I see you there.
I like this scene because the bar's full, and Leppy can't, he realizes if he just tries to tear through everyone to get to him, it's going to be, like, shit's going to hit the fan.
I would say this was the best.
And it's like Morty's got his eyes locked with him. He's like, he's here. And it's like, it suddenly becomes like serious.
Yeah.
It's almost like something you'd see in like a gangster movie or something.
It was very like, yeah, I know you know that I want to kill you.
Yeah.
You know I see you. I know you see me.
Yeah.
We're just going to sit here for a while.
Where is this going to go?
What's going to happen?
What's going to happen next? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's good.
But you don't have to wait long. But for somebody who's not... who doesn't want to make a scene, he doesn't give a shit about using his magic in public because he's sitting there and like at the end of the bar. We're talking like they're at the opposite ends of this long bar, and then all of a sudden Leppy just magically appears next to Morty. Poof. So you're telling me like the people that are next to Leprechaun don't know so this little person just magically vanishes into thin air and appears at the end of the bar?
They've been drinking.
So Marty has the idea of basically challenging Leppy into a drinking contest. Leppy is hesitant at first, but using schoolyard bullying techniques, Morty gets him to agree.
He basically calls him a chicken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's taunting Leprechaun, saying leprechauns can't hold their booze, and that you'd better off drinking some green lemonade, and you're a chicken, and blah,
the whole bar like joins in on this.
They start laughing
like,
at Leprechaun. Oh, you're a pussy. You suck.
You pussy.
And even the pack of midgets laugh at him for saying, "You want some green lemonade, little man," or something like that.
Yeah.
And the midget's like, "Oh, you gave it to him."
Yeah, you gave him the business.
Now, I do need to mention this. For some reason, everyone in this bar, even the move for this part, with the exception of Cody, Morty, and Bridget, have no problem with the way that Leprechaun looks. Everyone seems to act like Leppy is just this normal, everyday midget. And even though he looks like a fucking monster. Like, he has demon-like hands and, like, taloned, long fingernails.
Spiked teeth.
Discolored, spiky teeth.
Long
crazy
ears.
His ears look like a cross between, like, elf ears and, like, bat or demon ears.
Yeah.
And not to mention his hideous
like
face.
Deformed skin.
He's, like, brown. Like, it's... No way does... Excuse me. He looked normal at all. At all. And nobody is ever afraid of this guy, how he looks or anything.
No,
He's just like...
Just whatever.
I mean, come on. Like I said, we just had a talent agent like, "Hey, I like your style. I'm going to make you a star." Like, what?
Yeah.
So, that's another, I think, a big loophole I have about these movies. Like, if you're going to have something... Now, I know some of the Leprechaun movies, they start getting more and more ridiculous, and they don't try to get you scary. But if you're going to have something that's supposed to be at least somewhat scary to be afraid of, and you're going to make them visually look that way, then have people react to them on visually. Oh my God, this thing's scary looking. Otherwise, just have him. He can just be a midget in a green suit.
Yeah, just like, why go
with
into
magical
makeup?
powers?
Why go into the makeup?
Exactly. You don't need it.
Just give him a beard and dye it orange.
Yeah,
you know?
like you don't need. Or otherwise, why? What's the point? So, and his tongue is like forked like a snake.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, Leppy finally agrees to the contest, and now the tableful midgets cheer him on.
Like, yeah!
After every shot, like, yeah! And they start chanting, like, "One of us!
Yeah,
one
that
of
was
us!"
crazy! One of us! One of us! It was weird.
So, anyway, Leppy ends up chugging an entire bottle of whiskey. And Morty has successfully gotten Leppy plastered. Like, he's gone.
Yeah, so Morty pulled a fast one. He did have, like, basically what looked like whiskey, but he was drinking, like,
it was like
Coke and water, like soda.
Or
like,
club soda and so, yeah.
Yeah, he looked like a bottle of whiskey, but it was really, like...
Shot of whiskey, yeah.
Yeah.
So... Morty then grabs Leppy, spouts off some rhyme,
Dude,
but basically says, "I won, I caught you."
They had the drinking contest. Leppy's shit face, and there's like 5 empty bottles of whiskey next to him, and the place is now empty.
Yeah.
What? Wouldn't
Completely
you like?
empty.
At first, they're just like, yeah, the whole bar is pumped and going crazy. Like they're all cheering and one of us, the chant.
Yeah.
Everyone's like all of a sudden like geared up for this drinking contest. And by the end of it, everyone's gone.
Yeah.
The whole place is gone. Wouldn't they be fucking amazed that a little person could drink 5 bottles of whiskey?
That's a point. Like, that is a point that you make. But
wouldn't they be like, holy shit, this is amazing?
Yeah, and St. Ben's, like, there's a lot of things that I'm questioning now about this scene.
Yeah.
What you just said makes a point, because, people you might want to stick around and watch this. Other people, I could see, okay, I'm bored after a few shots, I'm leaving. Get that. And then you could argue, well, okay, maybe it's late enough at night that the bar closed, even though it's St. Patty's Day, so I made it be open for a while. But if the bar is closed, why are Morty, Cody, why are they still there?
Oh, and don't forget
and the bartender is now gone too. Yeah. Like, there's nobody in this bar
except the black midget. He's still there because he's walking out the door and he goes, "That was amazing. You're my hero, man." It's like talking to Leprechaun, like, "That was absolutely amazing. You're my hero."
I missed that
because he drank so much.
All right, I totally missed that part, but you're right. So why the bar's empty now makes zero sense as well. Leppy tries using his magic to hit Morty with a flying ashtray, but he's too drunk to do it.
This is kind of funny.
Morty says that Leppy has to do what they ask now because I caught you.
He caught him. He's holding on to him with both arms.
Yeah. So, but then Leppy has enough power to use his magic to turn the jukebox on, which is enough to distract Morty, just enough for Leppy to smash a whiskey bottle over Morty's head and make an escape. because now he's too drunk to use the aspirin, but now he's sober enough to get up and run away cleanly. If you're that drunk, your ass is stumbling, knocking
You're
into
taking 3 steps and then falling to the left.
Yeah. Cody gives chase, but Leprechaun's gone. He vanishes. Cody tells Morty that he has an idea, and he takes 2 strips of beef jerky from the bar, and we cut back to Bridget, who has found a hidden box under the dirt floor of the tree lair. Inside, she finds old bottles of Guinness beer and just seemingly other random shit that really doesn't make any sense.
It's like his collection of knickknacks.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what it's got to be. But she pulls out an old awl, and we jump back to Leppy trying to sober up at an espresso bar. The man working at the bar is played by Michael McDonald, who we talked about earlier, the guy from Mad TV. Michael gives Leppy some shit for being short, and he keeps firing off short jokes and puns and right after other.
Throwing them back and forth, but he's such an asshole.
He's a total asshole, like for no reason asshole. Like, I don't like these characters in movies. Like, no, I don't. Yeah, there's people that are assholes in life, but I don't think there's people that are this level of asshole. Just like,
off.
I've never seen anybody just go up like randomly start like making short jokes and making fun of a midget to their face as they're sitting there drinking coffee in their establishment where they're working
for no reason.
Yeah,
it wasn't like they got into it. Like, he did say, "Hey, I'm closing up. You got to get going." But there's nothing like.
Yeah, Leppy was just there like trying to sober up. He wasn't being like as normal a dickish or trickish self or an ass. He's just sitting there like, hand on his head, I'm hungover.
Yeah. Oh.
And this guy's just an asshole, for no reason.
One thing I did like is in the 90s, if anybody, the oversized cappuccino cups were all the rage.
Oh, yeah.
Like the giant oversized cappuccino cups, and he polished off like 12 of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I miss those cappuccino cups. They were so stupid.
So, eventually Leppy gets pissed off and just kills the guy by magically using the espresso machine to burn Michael's face off.
I like this. This was cool because he was talking shit, and Leprechaun's like, all right, fuck this. He jumps up, stabs one hand with a fork, pinning him down, runs around the other side, stabs the other hand, so he's pinned down, and he's in front of the steaming espresso machine. He tilts it up, and the steam just blasts him in the face, killing him.
Yeah, it burns his face off.
That was cool.
So we go back to Morty and Cody. They have broken into the Grand Prix go-kart track because in the office they find a giant fucking iron safe, and I'm not kidding you, this fucking thing is straight from like the old days, like the Wild West.
Right.
Nobody uses a safe like this anymore, especially a goddamn go-kart track.
People still use those safes, man.
Maybe in their house, like I could see, like, or a gun safe and stuff. I get that.
No,
I've never been to a I don't know any businesses that use safes like this.
People still use this shit. Absolutely.
Jesus Christ. All right, fine, but this thing is it's ridiculous.
It's huge. I mean,
it's at least like 3-4 feet tall.
When I worked retail, I mean, we had every place had a safe. We all had safes.
Safe, but not like this. Like
well. Maybe it's historic. Maybe it's got some
at a go-kart track.
It's a solid fucking safe, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Anyway, I just kept expecting to see Jesse James or Billy the Kid like ride up on horseback, shooting six blazers, trying to rob this place. Like, woohoo!
They take out a bag with a dollar sign on it.
Yeah, the big dollar sign filled up with the. They have like the 3 sticks of dynamite wrapped up, and they throw it at the safe. We're gonna blow this up. Anyway, Morty leaves to go pull the hearse around while Cody tries to find something to use as a ramp for the safe.
Yeah, because they're wheeling it out and it weighs a ton. They're like, there's no way we can lift it in. We need to wheel it in. So, find some way to do it.
Outside, Morty gets caught by a security guard. The guard handcuffs Morty to the hearse, and he goes off to look for other robbers. He enters the office, but there's no sign of Cody, so he leaves, and the camera pans up to show Cody hiding in the ceiling. Which, sorry, god damn it.
How the fuck did he get up there?
Yeah, that's one point. How does he get up there is one thing. And then two, the ceiling tiles, they're just like these, they're kind of like the ones above.
Yeah,
they're just these like little, there's no weight to them. It's not a big ceiling. He would fall right through this shit.
Yeah, they're cardboard, it's cardboard panel.
Yeah, or it's plastic, whatever that shit is.
Yeah, it's like, it's paneling. It's just thin paneling.
So, the guard leaves. Leppy pops up next to Cody in the ceiling. This causes him to fall through the ceiling panels, crash to the floor. But he quickly gets up and runs off. The guard gets back to Morty and uncuffs him. And that's when he hears a crashing / shattering sound. And when he turns to look, Morty sucker punches the guard, knocking him out cold.
How did Morty convince him to unlock
Yeah,
him? I forgot what it was.
It was something really fucking stupid.
Yeah, it was like he was good. Something was in the car. He's going to show him ID or something like that.
Yeah, like, in which case, just leave him handcuffed and go get the ID yourself. That's
Yeah,
what a
and,
cop, like, you're not going to.
And the cop's like, I've had 60 hours of combat training. Don't try anything funny. And of course, when he looks over, Morty sucker punches him. Goes, you should have had 65.
Yeah,
like oh, it's a good zinger there, Morty.
Yeah, which I thought was like 61 would have made sense, but like,
Yeah.
But 65?
You
need 5 more
Five
hours
more
to avoid a
hours.
sucker punch.
to tangle with Morty.
Normally that should be covered like 5 minutes. Don't turn your back on a suspect.
Yeah.
Boom. Done. I did that in 5 seconds.
Done.
Done.
You should have had 60 hours and 5 seconds.
So, Morty starts to search the guard for a gun, but he gets hit over the back of the head by Leppy's shillelagh. Leppy starts beating down Morty with a shillelagh, demanding to know where Cody is with his gold.
He is beating the shit out of him.
But Morty stands tall. He won't, not really saying he's honest. He gets ass whipped, but he stays strong and says he refuses to say where Cody is. But doesn't matter because that's when Cody calls out and says, "Hey, I'm over here." We see him standing behind the office door on the inside, and he's taunting Leppy. He gets Leppy to charge him. Leppy dives through the doggy door on the office door and lands inside the giant safe that Cody had positioned just perfectly behind the office door.
I kind of liked it.
Which Cody then locks him in the safe. I did not like this.
It was a good way to get Leprechaun into the safe without like manhandling him because they can't because he's too powerful. So I liked the way they did it.
Okay.
There's a doggy door. He's standing in front of it like, you can't get in here. And the Leprechaun thinks he's outsmarting him.
Yeah,
runs through.
I kind of... All right, I'm torn. I will say, at first, when I first watched it, I was like, yeah, I like the idea. But then when I watched it the second time, I started having thoughts like that really started giving me issues with this. One is when you see the safe in the very next shot after he locks Leppy in, you can see that the safe...
It's
is
too
taller
big.
than the window.
He would have seen
the safe
it.
was stuck up. Yeah. And two, why would Leppy... This is my biggest problem. Why would he blindly charge and leap through a goddamn doggy door when we've seen numerous times in this movie he could just teleport and be right next to him inside and like hit him or smack him or kill him?
That's a really good point.
Why would you blindly charge through a doggy door? Like, that's the biggest issue I have with this. Just teleport your ass next to him. Like, you've been doing it all movie. Why stop now?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, anyway, the iron safe burns Leppy and keeps him from supposedly using his magic, which, again, big loophole here coming up with that, too. But he can't use his magic to escape. Cody wants to go get Bridget, but Morty has another idea. And he locks Cody in a closet and forces Leppy to grant him 3 wishes. So now Leprechaun's a genie.
They mentioned it in the book when they were talking about the powers and weaknesses of the Leprechaun. But that's the same thing I want to bring up, too, is that Morty, when in that scene, when they're escaping the Leprechaun from Morty's apartment,
Yeah.
he throws the bookcase on him, which I guess is another thing that can hurt a Leprechaun.
Yeah, bookcase.
Bookcase. He goes, what? He grabs Cody, goes, what are you thinking? Don't make deals with leprechauns.
Exactly.
And then next thing he's doing the exact fucking thing.
I know. I thought the same thing.
I'm just like, yep, that's no consistency with the character.
Yeah, I totally agree 100%.
You think you'd be like, okay, we got him trapped. Yay, high five, do a little dance, and go about your day.
The only consistency he has is when he makes his wish make sense with his character, but not the fact that he says, don't make a deal with him, don't do it, and then he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Cody's yelling and pleading with Morty not to do this, but Morty says, hey, I know what I'm doing, and he ignores Cody. So, Morty... His first wish is he wishes for Leppy's personal pot of gold. He says, I know I could wish for money and millions of dollars and all that stuff, but I want gold. I want your gold, your pot of gold. And
he's what a dick.
So that I like with Morty, I get because he's all about scamming people for money and money. I get that. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, doing it in the first place doesn't make any sense. So Leppy's like, oh, a greedy man. I'm not, oh, great. I love dealing with greedy people because they're predictable or something like that. Mm-hmm. So Leppy grants Morty's wish, and his pot of gold magically begins to appear inside Morty's stomach. And Morty's stomach starts stretching and expands and takes the shape of a pot of gold.
In his gut.
In his gut. Here's the problem. If he says he can't use his magic to escape the safe, why can't he suddenly use his magic to magically
yeah.
have his pot of gold appear inside of his stomach? Like, again, this is like 20 seconds, like a minute at most have passed. He says, "Oh, I can't get out of here.
I can't use my magic. I'm going to use my magic."
Yeah, it's like, what? So Morty's screaming in pain. He's begging to get it out of him. And Leppy's like, "I can do it, but you'll have to be, you have to wish me out of this safe." So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You wish me out. Then maybe that's the loophole in the magic. So Morty wishes him out of the safe, but Leppy says, "Morty, you have to open the door himself." So you just wasted a wish.
You just wasted a wish.
You didn't wish him out.
You just could have opened the fucking safe.
Leppy says, "Just open the door." Like, all you had to do is open the fucking door, not wish. Again, what the hell, man? It's so dumb. So Morty then uses his last wish to wish the pot of gold out of him. So Leppy's like, "Wish granted." And with that, he punches through Morty's stomach and starts ripping his stomach open and pulls out the pot of gold with his hands, which, by the way, is in pristine condition.
Not one drop of blood.
No blood, no guts, no
viscera.
goo, nothing
Yeah.
on anything on the gold. Morty begs for help, but Leppy says, "Oh, you're out of wishes," and then he just vanishes. Morty pretty much dies. Rightfully so. If you have a pot of gold erupt from your stomach, then your stomach will ripped open.
Yeah, you're probably gonna die.
So Cody then gets out of the closet and is about to go after Leppy when he gets caught by the security guard. The guard tells Cody that he knows who Cody is and that all the cops are looking for him. And he leads Cody outside where they hear the sounds of a little girl calling for help. Thinking it's another one of Cody's victims, he goes off to help despite warnings from Cody that it's a trick. The guard leads Cody onto the racetrack where Leppy is waiting in a decked out go-kart of death.
He has his own pimped out ride.
This thing looks like a vehicle from Mad Max and Mario Kart had a baby.
Boom! That's perfect! That's a perfect description. That's so good.
Leppy says to the guard that he's not taking Cody anywhere until he gets his gold, and he slams on the gas. Leppy races his Mario Kart death cart thing towards the guard. Cody and the guard leap out of the way at the last second. Leppy hits the brakes, spins around for another pass. The guard takes off running, but the death cart catches up to him, so the guard just spins around, fires off some rounds from his gun, but the cart rams into him. The spikes on this thing shatter the guy's legs. The guard flips head over heels. Leppy turns around again. This time he just runs the man over with his go-kart.
Has him in his sight, runs him over.
He's dead. Leppy next goes after Cody, but for some reason the death cart just passes through Cody like it was fucking Shadow Cat or Kitty
Cody was
Pryde.
running, fell over. It looks like it's curtains for Cody.
Yeah.
Here's the car, goes right through him.
Yeah, right through him. Like, untouched, unharmed. So now Cody figures out, oh, Leppy can't kill me as long as I have this coin.
Huh?
What? That is what you... How would you think that? Like, if I'm trying to put myself in those shoes, that is not the first thing that comes to my mind. It's like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? I want to be laying there longer questioning how it happened. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, sweet. I got lucky.
Yeah.
Something happened. I'm out of here.
So, and for some reason, Leppy can't just take the coin from Cody. Cody has to give it to Leppy.
Give it to him.
Which all of this is complete bullshit. Because again, when did this become a rule? It certainly was not a rule in the first movie.
No, where he sliced the shit out of
the fat guy.
The fat guy because he swallowed the coin.
Yeah, he was going to rip it out of him.
And he was slashing him up. He was fucking him up.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's hurting him.
Yeah.
He's harming him.
To get the coin back. Yeah, exactly.
And the same thing also with the store owner in the first one when he uses the pogo stick to kill him. Because he's holding the gold coin too.
Yeah.
So all of that is ball brand
Nothing,
new. All this is just made up make-ups, crazy goofums.
Anyway, so yeah, you just covered all that. So one more. So anyway, Leppy races towards Cody again, but this time stops just inches from Cody's face, and he vanishes from sight. Cody stands up now in his manly moment. Now his balls have suddenly dropped. And he's like yelling, like, "I'm gonna beat you! I got you figured out!" Blah 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 blah. And, like, "I know where you live."
I know where you live. That's what like old neighbors used to yell at me when I was a kid. When I'd be fucking around in their yard or something, like breaking shit. Look at that shit. That's a horrible kid. I know where you live. I'm like, ah.
So he then picks up a metal rod and spouts out the cheesy ass line. Have you had your iron today?
Dude, of all the iron bars, rods, weapons, things that are available, he gets like maybe a 12-inch thin ass rod.
Yeah, it's pretty
blunt rod.
Pretty weak looking.
You can't beat a cat to death with this thing. It's so small.
So he gets in the hearse, drives away. He cut to Levy back in his lair looking for Bridget. She enters, now wearing the red dress. Her hair is all frizzy. Looking. This is the best she's looked in this movie for me up to now, because she doesn't look as crazy and weird now. And she seems all flirty, trying to seduce Leppy into a false sense of security. She gets him to sit next to her on the bed. She even gives him a kiss on one of the cheeks. But that's when she goes all Sharon Stone from Basic Instinct on him. And she pulls out the awl and tries to stab Leppy in the neck with it. But the awl just... It's like now he's like Colossus. He's made of metal, and the awl just like gets bent. It's like just it just bends. He's like, what?
Now he's got fucking adamantium skin or something.
What is happening here? Since when?
We've seen Leppy been shot before.
He's been shot with shotguns. I think he was stabbed or something. I mean, he's been wounded, but now
now he's impervious.
What is happening? Why, guys? Why is this happening? So. Of course, Leppy just gets pissed off, but here's the sound of Cody pulling up outside. Again, how would you hear... I'm not... Fuck it. I'm done. I'm done. I just want to quit this right now. I don't even want to finish this. He uses his magic to lock Bridget up to a root or something. I don't fucking know.
To a root? You're right, it is.
It's a fucking root.
Yeah.
He has her magical collar locked around a root. Cody enters the tree lair armed with a flashlight and his dinky little iron rod. Cockroaches begin to rain down on Cody.
Oh.
And not just any cockroaches, but leprechaun cockroaches.
Green painted cockroaches.
Yes, I shit you not, listeners. These movie makers painted cockroaches green and dropped them on the actor.
When you say shower, I think of hundreds of... It was 4. There's 4 of them. Bloom, 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 bloom. Done. It would be like, ew, gross, oh, nasty. You know, it wasn't like a shower of roaches, which would scare the shit out of me.
They should have done that. They should have done that.
That'd been awesome. But no, it's just like they just trickled.
Well, I guess
they trickled. It was like a mild sprinkle.
They probably blew their whole budget on that golf cart of death. They didn't have enough budget for cockroaches. Fuck, we blew our budget. We have enough budget for cockroaches now, guys.
Maybe it was the paint that cost
them. We had to paint these fuckers. Anyway, Leppy pops up behind Cody. Cody chases after Leppy. Meanwhile, we see Bridget trying to free herself. She uses her feet to try to pull the bent awl over to her. Cody comes across a skeleton that's tangled in the roots. This time the skeleton comes to life and attacks Cody. This may be the least scary or intimidating skeleton I've ever seen in a movie.
The skeleton looks like it's barely holding together.
It's so goddamn fragile.
It's falling apart. Literally falling apart as he's fighting this. Like, really, dude? You're struggling with this thing?
Yeah, I could see the director like, okay, try to struggle, but don't really touch it, because if you touch it, it's going to fall apart, and we only got one of these in the budget.
Don't shake it around too much. We blew our budget on the painting of the cockroaches.
Painting cockroaches.
He's trying gently not to break this fucking shitty skeleton.
It's so bad.
It's really
so bad.
There's a moment where he's like putting the arm on his face, like, ah. The hands on his face, you can see him kind of guiding it on there. I'm like, holy shit. I'm watching this like, I think I was like 12 beers in by this point. I'm just like drowning myself to not think about this movie anymore. I'm just like, oh my God.
So Kobe stabs the skeleton through the chest with his iron rod, but it does nothing.
Because it goes through his ribs.
Yeah. And now you get a very quick scene of the skeleton. Like it's trying to, it's multitasking. It's one arm trying to attack Cody, and the other arm is trying to simultaneously like pick his pocket for the gold coin.
Yeah.
So you see Cody like
manipulating these arms.
He's working like it's a puppet. One arm he's trying to get to his pocket. The other one is like he's trying to attack himself with. It's so ridiculous.
It's really bad.
So this time, Cody says, fuck it. He channels his inner Jason Voorhees from Part 8 and just punches the skeleton's head off.
Yeah.
And that apparently does it. Which, by the way, this came out in 1994. Jason Takes Manhattan came out in 1989. 89. And it was so much better.
Way better.
The special effects were so much better. Like, god damn.
Well, we'll talk about it later, but yeah,
because I made it when I was writing the note and I made that note, I was like, I actually stopped and I want to look that up to see if that time, if chronologically that makes sense. Like, holy shit, it does. And it blew my mind because for some reason, maybe I just didn't see the movie till later, but I thought like for sure like, oh, Jason Takes Manhattan wasn't until like the 90s or so like that, but fuck, that was 89. Anyway, so Cody continues wandering down the tunnels looking for Bridget. Then out of nowhere, he just falls into a pit. Just falls through a pit in the ground. And like, again, I was so mad because if you're going to fall through a pit that fucking big that takes you that far down, you're going to see the goddamn pit in front of you. It's going to be obvious. It's not a little hole in the ground. You're going to like.
And it wasn't like he used magic to like make the hole like, appear or
he
something.
He just fell into a goddamn pit on his own volition. So, and he gets tangled up in like roots and twigs. And also in the pit is now Leppy, who seems to be grabbing at Cody, trying to get the coin, even though he just said, I can't take it from you. But here he's like, give me the coin. And he's like pawing at it, like grabbing at it. So again, they ignore it. This Ryan is fucking all over the place. It makes zero sense. He does also say that if Cody gives him the coin, I'll set you free. Then in a blink of the eye, all the roots and twigs and even Leppy are gone, and Cody's just standing in a tunnel again.
So this pit made didn't matter.
Nothing mattered. Cody finally finds Bridget locked up, and Jesus Christ, what happens next made me laugh so hard from just sheer stupidity. Leppy bursts out of a fucking rock like the old gobbledygooker, saying, surprise!
The gobbledygooker! That's the most obscure wrestling reference I think we've ever used on this show. We use some wrestling references here. We like wrestling. It's fun. We like 80s wrestling. But the fucking gobbledygooker from Survivor Series, I think, 87...
87 or 88, yeah.
Is one of the most well done, bizarre, obscure wrestling reference ever.
Thank you.
Well done.
Hopefully you guys, some of you out there will actually get that reference.
The gobbledygooker.
The gobbledygooker, who was played by, was it Chavo Guerrero Sr. or
yeah, it was,
or the other Guerrero, like Eddie's father.
That's right. I remember reading something about it.
It was one of the older Guerreros.
Poor bastard.
Hector Guerrero.
Yeah,
I think it was Hector. Hector Guerrero.
Dude, well, goddamn, look at you. Check out the big brain on Marshall with the wrestling history.
Yeah. So yeah, he bursts out this fucking fake looking ass rock, and he's like, surprised! And then Cody and Leppy have like a quick little standoff, while Bridget continues to pick at the lock on her collar with the awl. Bridget gets the collar off, throws it at Leppy, knocking his top hat off. And this is enough to be like, oh no, my top hat.
Yeah, so, I think he was embarrassed that he was balding.
Yeah, he like ring around. He has like the Hulk Hogan haircut.
Yeah.
Cody tells her to run, and the two of them take off running down separate tunnels. Not together, they go in opposite directions. Now, if we haven't talked about this enough, I'm going to now. So this is supposed to be an underground tree. Right? A tree, underground. Right. But the walls and the floors, they don't look right. The sets just don't match up with what it's supposed to be.
Like you think it'd be like dirt or
dirt
you would think
or roots the floor would be dirt, but it's more, the floor is more covered in sand than dirt, and the walls are not made of don't look like they're made of wood or dirt.
Like cloth.
They're fucking plaster and painted styrofoam and cloth, not dirt or wood, and it just looks so cheap and so hastily made.
Right.
It's so bad. But again, I guess when you blow your budget on painted cockroaches, the sets have to take the sacrifice.
They suffer.
So Cody and Bridget run into each other. They find each other and they try to escape. But the next several shots, all we get is the gag of them going down one tunnel after another and always ending up backing where they start.
Yeah.
So they try to reverse their path, but all that happens now is they get separated again. Cody finds her again. So again, no big deal. It's like, oh, they're separated. Oh, now they're back together. Very next scene, they're back together.
Yeah, didn't matter.
It didn't fucking matter. And he tells her that she found a way out, and she tells him that she found a way out.
Oh, and she is laying it on thick.
And it's like, you have to just leave the coin here because that's all I want. Leave here. We'll get out of here. We'll be fine.
Give him the coin. I don't care. Let's just escape.
Yeah, Cody.
And she's like making out with him.
Or
like,
trying to.
Yeah.
Cody tries to tell her that as long as they have the coin, they're safe. She kisses him, tells him she loves him, and that's all I think. Cody's like, okay, here you go. Here's the coin.
Honey dicked.
Yeah. Bridget then starts laughing and speaking in Leppy's voice, saying, "You lose!" And in a cheap, crappy burst of light, Bridget changes into Leppy. Leppy makes Bridget appear out of thin air. She begs Leppy not to hurt Cody, and she's like, hey, don't hurt him. I'll go with you. Just don't hurt him. Cody tries to stab Leppy with the iron rod, but Leppy uses the force to freeze Cody in place and then sends him flying backwards out of the chamber they're in, like, into a tunnel. Bridget runs over to him, and we see that the iron rod has now impaled Cody through, like, the side of the chest. And thinking he's dead, Bridget turns to Leppy, like, all hope's gone from her. She's like, he's dead. Fuck, you win. Blah, blah, blah. Leppy takes her hand and starts to lead her away, saying that it's going to be one hell of a wedding night. But that's when Cody pops back up, saying, in your dreams, and stabs Leppy in the chest with the iron rod. Even though we clearly see the thing was fucking impaled through him.
Now, I don't remember him being impaled, but did he pull, like, the old stick it in the armpit move?
That would had to have been it, but what? Like, because I'm pretty sure when I saw it, it was coming out of, like, his pectoral muscle. Like, it was coming out of him.
I thought it was like. Here's another thing. We didn't mention it, but he gave him the chocolate coin.
Yeah.
Does that come up?
It hasn't come up yet.
Okay, well, let's keep going then. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's no surprise. You know you knew that was going to happen as soon as he got the gold coin from the midget in the bathroom. I mean, but so he says, in your dream, stabs Leppy in the chest with the iron rod. Cody takes the coin back from Leppy, saying, real milk chocolate, genius.
But he just hurt him. He just threw him around with magic.
Yeah.
So he has the real coin.
Yeah.
If he has the real coin, how is he using magic on him? To harm him and throw him around.
Yeah.
Shit.
Again, yeah, that's a great point. Like, he shouldn't be able to do that.
God damn it.
Fuck this movie. So bolts of energy and light begin to, like, shoot out or spark off Leppy. And I use that term very loosely, spark out or shoot out him, because it is one of the worst effects I've ever seen.
It's like little.
It's like a fucking, like, I don't know. Anyway,
it looks like a flint. Like you're starting like when you're just using a flint to start a fire.
It looked like a sparkler.
Yeah.
It's like they stick a sparkler on his chest, and it's like a little sparkler going, it's so bad. Bridget shouts out, he's gonna blow. Cody grabs her. They run off down one of the tunnels. Now, how the fuck would she know that Leprechaun's going to explode? There's no way either one of them would know that. I mean, plus, he's not, like, inflating or ballooning up like Thunder did from Big Trouble in Little China, which that was like, yes, that guy's going to fucking explode.
He's going to blow, yeah.
That's a visual cue. This made no sense. No one is yelling that for anyone to yell out, he's going to explode or pop or whatever, but not fucking here, because they know, it just,
sure.
And like I said, the visual effects are even worse because they look like a goddamn sparkler on his chest and like a little dinky flashlight going bing, bing, bing. Like, it's so pathetic. It's laughable. It's almost not even laughable. It's just sad. It's painful to watch how bad this was. So regardless, Leppy does fucking explode. Cody, Bridget make it out of the tree. They kiss. They laugh. It's all over. Whatever. Bridget asks Cody if he's going to keep the coin, but he just, like, flips the gold coin over his shoulder as they walk away, saying, it's not worth it. Like, are you kidding me? It's not worth it? Because apparently that's the coin is the one thing that protects you from a fucking leprechaun of death.
Right.
That you've just
vanquished. You just beat him.
What you think, and as far as everything you've witnessed in this one night, I would not be surprised. It's like, okay, yeah, he blew up, but he's also magic. He's disappearing.
Yeah,
All right,
he can come back.
Just on the safe side, I'm holding on to this thing. The get me out of jail, save my life coin.
Exactly.
I'm not getting rid of that fucking thing. Because even if he does come back, like, you can come back, but you can't fucking touch me.
Yeah.
As long as I got this thing. So, fuck you, I'm keeping it.
Right.
So, yeah. Retarded. Anyway, they kiss again. Roll the goddamn credits. That, Moon Goons, is fucking Leprechaun 2. Yeah.
The shit stopper.
The shit. Oh, God. I hate this movie.
I think where we're going, I know where we're going. We go to so bad it's good, so bad it's scary.
Well, before we get there, let's go on to favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
All right, favorite kills. They again, not much in this movie.
Not a lot of kills
The
again.
Leprechauns movies never really do.
Never gets a good body count.
No,
Yeah.
you really don't. So, favorite kill.
My favorite kill is the espresso machine kill.
Espresso machine?
I think the guy deserved to die. I thought he was a dick. I liked the way it was done. It was probably one of the more gory ones too.
Yeah,
the
I'll
effect
give you
wasn't bad. Like the steam hitting his face, he's pinned down by the forks. He's going and you can see there's some practical effects underneath his skin, like under makeup.
Yeah.
And they cut different scenes. They cut back to Leprechaun. They go back to him. And his face is more fucked up. But it's pulsing. Blood is shooting out. So they actually put some effort into this death. Into this, like, as a good effect. One of the only things I think would give it an R rating, other than the titties we saw earlier.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite kill.
Okay. Yeah. To me, it's either that one or Ian, because I mean, I did like the visual of the giant lawnmower spinning blades.
Yeah.
I thought that was good, and you did get some tits with that one. So
You did.
But you're right. The other one was more gruesome, but. I'm gonna go Ian actually.
Yeah.
I'm going with the lawnmower. It's fucking ridiculous.
Because it had titties.
And it did have titties. And titties always win.
You got trumped with titties.
Nothing beats the titties. All right, moving on to odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 4.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes. I wish I had the running total, but this movie gets the prestigious honor of joining the 0% club.
Wow.
0% on Rotten Tomatoes. We've had one or two other movies that had the 0% we've done with a 28% audience score.
Oof.
Amazon, fuck you, Amazon, everybody on Amazon. 4.5 out of 5.
Jesus Christ.
Plot keywords, 41. I wrote down 4 that I just thought were kind of stupid. That you shouting was a plot keyword?
Shouting.
Shouting.
Huh.
Tree.
Yes.
Tooth pulling.
Huh. Yeah.
And wood.
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 Wood. Why would wood be? Why would wood be a plot keyword? If a plot keyword could be a plot keyword, why would wood? I don't know.
Why would wood be wood one?
Yeah, who knows?
I
don't fucking know.
So WOOD.
Yeah.
Wood.
Yes.
Weird.
Yeah. Really fucking weird. All right, so trivia. I actually got some trivia for this movie.
Cool.
All right, this is the only movie in this series that took place on St. Patrick's Day, which was kind of surprising because if you're gonna have a movie about Leprechaun, why would it not be like
Right,
turn into like a Halloween franchise? It's always on St. Patty's Day. Like, why would you not do that?
That seems like a logical step.
Yeah. This one's crazy. And I wish this would have happened because it probably would have been more entertaining. But Denise Richards was a major contender for the role of Bridget.
Oh,
Could you imagine that Denise Richards was Bridget instead of just
We wouldn't
Siobhan?
see stunt titties then.
Maybe not. Well, I don't know. Maybe in when did Wild Things didn't come out to like 98, I think?
Ooh, I did like that movie.
Because I was working at the video store, Hollywood Video, 98, 99. When I remember putting that one on the shelf.
It had to be 98, yeah, because I remember watching it my freshman year of college, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Which was 98,
She,
so.
94, 40, she may not... I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, still would have been more entertaining, I think, than it was. This was the last movie in the series to get a theatrical release. No
straight to video, yeah.
Also, not surprised that this was the last one that went to the theater. It's also called... one of his names like overseas or something. His other name is called One Wedding and Lots of Funerals because 4 weddings and a funeral just came out.
So wait, whoa.
Yeah.
That was their international release name? One wedding and lots of funerals?
At least in some other country, yeah.
Holy
I don't know if
shit.
it was like all international, but at least one of them was.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
You think it would have with a title like that, you think it would have something to do kind of with like loosely following or imitating the story of Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah.
Instead of a goddamn leprechaun, which is so obvious. That's crazy.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. That's insane. All right, now, these last two, the last one is the shortest one, but it ties into with this one. This one's a little longer, but it's interesting. And I think it kind of changes the movie up. So, all right. The original draft of the script featured several scenes and subplots that were cut out, but they were filmed. Mainly, there was a love triangle between Bridget, Cody, and Ian, and there was a much larger plot point. Ian was more of a main character who appeared in multiple scenes that took place after his death in the finished film. After Cody dropped Bridget off at the go-kart place, there was a dialogue mentioning how Ian and Bridget had dated in the past until he cheated on her, and she broke up with him, with Ian bullying Cody at the time.
Yeah.
Scenes at the go-kart track included Bridget hanging out with her friend Mandy and another friend of Ian's named Lyle, who tried really hard to flirt with Bridget.
Lyle, huh?
Lyle was Cody's best friend who ditched him for Ian's clique in high school and helped Ian bully Cody. Lyle took Bridget home, and after attempting to kiss her, gets lured into the wood chipper by a nude illusion of Bridget. Ian was set to appear at Cody's apartment, demanding to know where Bridget was and why his friend Lyle was found dead. After Cody convinced Ian of the leprechaun with the gold coin, he decided to help him out. But he secretly wants her for himself and later tries to push Cody in front of the go-kart the leprechaun is driving. He is later fooled by an illusion of Bridget in the leprechaun's lair in the final act of the film.
Wow.
Giving her what he believed was the real coin, which he stole from Cody, but Cody actually gave him the false one, and Ian is killed by the leprechaun in the tree. Reshoots reduced Ian's role to the two scenes, giving Morty more to do, and the character of Lyle and Mandy were cut out completely.
Wow.
Now that sounds like a more interesting movie. That had more depth and more plot and more character interaction.
Totally agree.
That may have made the movie a lot more interesting, in my opinion. So I was really surprised that they got rid of all of that, because I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. All right, that's what I got for trivia. We're going to move on. We haven't done this in a long time, ladies and gents, but we finally get to play the budget game.
Ooh!
They spent how much? The budget game.
All right, Aaron, what do you want to guess the budget of the 1994 theatrical release of Leprechaun 2?
Okay, I'm going to break this down a little bit. So I listened to our podcast of Leprechaun.
Yes.
Leprechaun was made for $900,000 in 1993. This followed immediately on the heels because Leprechaun made just under $9 million in the box office.
Right.
So great return on investment. So they're probably thinking we need to cash in on this again because, again, $900,000 made us $9 million. So my guess is going to be right around that same budget. I'm going to go with. I bet they go, we're going to make more for less. And I'm going to go with $750,000. Well, hold on. Stop the presses. The first one, their shooting location was kind of in the middle of nowhere. Here they were in L.A. They had different areas. Nope, I'm going to go with my original gut. $750,000.
$750,000. Well, Aaron, as Michael McDonald would say in the special shop, you came up a little short.
Oh!
Way short.
Way short.
The budget, $2 million.
Wow.
Like I said, man, those fucking painted cockroaches. All right, but you have a chance to redeem yourself because we have two more guessing games. We have opening weekend gross and total gross in the United States.
You got some good info. Okay, total gross in the United States.
No,
okay.
Opening weekend first.
Okay, opening weekend.
I don't have a theater count, just opening weekend.
Let's say it made. It increased, and this came out in April. You said
yes.
It's a good time to see movies because it's shitty outside, and $4 million opening weekend.
I think that's what the studio people were hoping for, but you reverse it this time. Now you completely blew your wad. Opening weekend, $672,775. Yeah.
I wonder what else came out around that time.
That's a good idea. I wish I should have looked that up.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, that might give you a little bit idea what the gross was.
Well, then I'm going to go back to $4 million.
$4 million for the total gross. Still blowing your wad. Total gross in theaters, $2,260,622.
Just barely made its money back.
Barely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, how Leprechaun. So there's something to be said about that. Because the first one made $9 million. And it had a better story. I mean, don't get me wrong.
$900,000.
I'm sorry. It was made for $900,000, but it made just under $9 million. So, there's proof right there that story matters. You just can't piggyback on, trying to build a franchise. You just can't piggyback into this. So, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this movie
yeah,
can suck my balls.
Indeed. Anyway, so let's move on now to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
All right, 5-star reviews. There were 272 total reviews on Amazon for this movie. 62% of them were 5 stars.
Fucking assholes.
What the fuck is wrong with people? But here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay.
From Texas Guy 84.
Fuck you.
Not too bad for an older movie. I'd say give it a shot on a rainy day or when all else fails. 5 stars.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
It gets a 5-star rating from you.
If it's a rainy day and you have absolutely nothing else to do, then maybe watch it. But 5 stars, guys.
Wow. Loved it.
With a smiley face at the end, by the way. From Roman Brickner. I loved... Okay, first of all, let me say, a lot of these reviews were not just for this movie, but they were for like the Leprechaun box set as well.
Yeah.
So I tried to filter through ones that were more about just this movie, not the whole collection, but some of them get mixed up. I love the collection. Some people are scared of these movies, but I find them funny. Just like Motel Hell. I mean, please, are you scared of that nonsense? Funny to me because I knew the words to the song when I was in the Boy Scouts, and then the movie came out. Too funny. 5 stars. What the fuck are you talking about, Roman Brickner?
I don't...
What song?
What song?
What song came out? What are you talking about? I don't get this at all.
Roman, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher right there.
Yeah,
But,
that's strange.
Michael Grosh McCloskey. I realize these are what? I realize there are what? 6? Question mark. More than 4 Leprechaun movies altogether. Most of them have one of the Star Wars Ewoks. Don't ask me what his name is. ... I have never seen any of them. 5 stars.
What?
Okay, are you saying you've never seen any of the Leprechaun movies and you're giving this 5 stars? Or are you saying you've never seen any of the Star Wars movies? 5 stars. Either way, fuck you on both ends.
Get a shillelagh in the ass.
I don't even know what his name is. Fucking A. From Jack Douglas. So, yeah, if one is looking for actual historical information on leprechauns, they probably will feel these movies are a waste of time. If there are viewers out there who want to be intrigued by what they watch, these too will be very disappointed. If anyone out there likes to be entertained just for the fun of it, then they will love these horror flicks. 5 stars. Last 2. From Mateo Santiago. I don't know, fuck it. I love the Leprechaun. He's so clever and tricky. So are his rhymes. He can put anything on anybody. It'll be scary, a leprechaun lurking through the shadows, then deceiving you. I wasn't disappointed in the audio quality. What gets me, the leprechaun could kill them right away, but I said before he does a lot of trickery and is completely deceitful. There's nudity in the second and third one, very brief, but it won't hurt you. In all of these 4 movies, there's attractive women and humor, action, a little romance, and letdowns concerning Romaine. Plenty of people die in these movies. You won't be let down for long if you get these movies if you're a fan of horror and folklore. 5 stars.
I don't know what to make of that review.
Yeah.
That one was weird.
Yeah, and last one from Catherine Grace Z. This was on IMDb. This was a different one from Amazon. Leprechaun 2, in my opinion, is a very clever and hip horror film you'll love, which will leave you feeling good. The only things about it that scared me, like the first two, were some of the blood and gore, and when the leprechaun suddenly appeared or jumped out from somewhere. Other than that, I didn't get scared at all. You mean you didn't get scared by the parts that weren't meant to be scary? Go figure. All right, so before I wrap this up, I'd like to say that everyone involved in this film did an outstanding job. In conclusion, to all you horror film lovers that have not seen this very clever and hip horror film, you'll love which will leave you feeling good. I highly recommend it. You're in for a good time as well as some pure chills and thrills. So go to your video store, rent it or buy it, turn down the lights, lock your doors and windows, and enjoy.
I don't know about you, but after watching, I felt good. Did you feel good?
Oh, I
think
felt
I felt good. I feel almost refreshed.
It was so hip.
God damn it.
Fucking A. All right, that's it. We're wrapping up. So, Aaron, take us out. Conclude this for us.
Okay. It goes without saying, so bad it's scary. I think obviously we're going that way. And it has to do with all the bullshit that we exposed throughout this entire podcast. Just the mind-numbing, skullduggery, dipshit writing. You keep contradicting yourself and fucking up. Yeah. And it's just... It had some good acting, actually. The acting wasn't horrible. The girl kind of sucked, and I hit a weird voice.
Oh, come on. Cody was awful, too. The only person you liked was fucking
love
Morty.
I'm sorry, Morty was the shit. But, yeah,
well, and we just said the best actors were the people who had the smallest parts.
Yes,
so.
That's true. The only scene worth really watching, I think, is the whole bar scene. Everything that happens in the bar I kind of liked. But other than that, the movie was bullshit. Just absolute bullshit. There hardly was any gore. The kills sucked.
Yeah.
There was the one kill that was okay. I thought it was all right. And that's the one I picked as my favorite kill. But overall, it wasn't like stop the presses. That was an amazing kill.
Yeah.
You drop the ball in all the parts that are fun about the Leprechaun movie in the first one. Fuck this movie.
Yeah, fuck this movie.
Fuck it in the ass.
I agree with you. So bad, scary. And you know what? You said it all. I'm not even going to waste any more of my time talking about this fucker. So that's it, guys. So bad, scary for both of us. We'll be back later in the future with another movie. So in the meantime, guys, remember to watch more horror movies and to always keep it tight.